Good morning, traders. So how did we trade the DAX this morning? So yeah, quite a few things happening yesterday. Not quite what I was expecting. We had a nice gap up, which anybody would have assumed that was a continuation to the upside, especially since we crossed over the moving averages on the daily. But we didn't. We got a massive engulfing candle. So I think what we need to do is just get rid of all the levels at the moment, and let's just start with the Fibonacci, because I think that is going to be the key at the moment. And you can see there we're at the 61.8. So I'm just going to put a level in there, and you will notice that it ties up with this inside tail here. Okay, if we look at the oscillator here, we do have a bit of divergence brewing. Not quite there yet, but it's very close. In other words, it's going to be a double bottom here with a higher low. Okay, and we can tidy that just down to there. There's my inside tail, so that's the level I'm waiting for at the moment, and then we're going to see what happens at that level. Okay, so currently the trend has switched. We are to the downside, and I suppose hindsight being a perfect science, we did have a crossover on Friday, even though we did gap up here. Moving averages were on the wrong were lying incorrectly, so yeah, we needed the 9 above the 26, and we had the 26 above the 9. So 26 above 9 is bearish, and we're moving to the downside. So, and you had this indecision candle, gap up, massive indecision at the first hour. Well, that's the first 4 hour. But similar pattern on the hour. Let's just go there. You'll see. So we had a shooting star right up there. On the 1 hour, it looked like the trend had changed, but if you look at the 4 hour, trend had not changed. And for me, the 4 hour dictates the actual longer term trend. Okay, so that was not in place. And you can see we had a pretty strong sell-off, and then we just continued. Okay, so yeah, not quite what I was expecting yesterday. I honestly was expecting this. As I said, if we broke above this level, I was expecting a rally, and we basically broke above both areas. And the reason for this, you can see what would have happened here as well, is that a lot of people would have been in on this trade because of the breakout here. And then they would have stops pretty much all the way down here. And that's why it helped the acceleration of the sell-off, and then we just continued. Okay, so I think what we want to do is just get to these levels have no bearing on us today. This one where we closed is pretty important, and there is another one just below. But if you look to the left, you can see how messy it was with all these tails. So I'm kind of in two minds, 11,220 or alternatively 11,287. Those are the areas to watch. And bear in mind that we still have this massive weekly head and shoulders, and we are flirting with the weekly 200 moving average. Okay. So until this thing breaks, and the thing I'm referring to is pretty much that high there and that low. Another way of looking at it is going to be, well, I suppose you could do, depends really what happens now. What we're looking for is the base. Okay, and look at the daily here. I mean, I expect buyers to be stepping in shortly. Just try see if I can pick up some levels on the half hour for you. Okay, so there we go. Let's move this one down. Okay, no real levels here either. So you can see how we've closed below this fractal. So that is pretty much expect more downside with a stop above this level here. But I'm very wary of that right now. Very, very wary of that because we finally closed this gap. I don't think there is another gap. There is a little one further down. But yeah, so I think what you're going to want to see, I just want to check whether this worked out. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm muttering to myself, guys. But I don't prep these videos before we do them. It actually helps me as well. Okay, so you can see here, so a lot of people trade the opening range, the first hour of trading with a 5 minute. So they look for a 5 minute close above the range. And what I've found is, especially this year, is 5 minute closes actually mean nothing. So what you're actually looking for is a 12-minute close below the range or above the range. And this is what, or even a 10 minute, so a 10 or a 15. But a 5 or a 6, it really doesn't do you justice, because you'll find that this would have been a 5 minute close above, which would have triggered a lot of longs, and there'll be stops here. That's why this bar is so long. There'll be stops below the range, and you can see how we went above the range and below the range pretty much in one 12-minute bar. Okay, so I prefer to, if you're looking at the opening range, take that in consideration. Make sure you've got a level with you. In other words, where is there an inside tail, and pick that inside tail up off the 4 hour if possible. And you can see there's one there, and the next one is up there, which we missed. Okay, but you can see this tail here, this bar tagged it, and all honesty, that was this 80-point stop loss. Okay, 80-point stop loss. And then also remember what I say, you're looking for your second move, and there was your second move there. Okay, so right now what we're looking for to the downside is we're looking to pick up some levels. And so look to the left, look for your inside tails. This one is gone. That one is fairly close. Okay, now there is kind of, depending on which time frame you're trading, there is still a gap here. So there's a gap over here, and what I'm doing now is picking up this inside tail, which coincides with this tail, but that's definitely a level to watch. And then the last one to watch is going to be around these two tails here. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for now. So we're looking for one of these levels to be tagged, and then what you're looking for is either the 30 minutes or the half hour to build a base on that. And a base could be an inside bar, an indecision bar, an engulfing bar, pretty much anything, any sort of price action that's going to help you. So even a pin bar like this, and you can see this pin bar trapped a few people as well. They would have been trading this and got it wrong. You've got to watch these moving averages at the moment as well. So lower time frame will give you a crossover. So watch it like this. You can see on the 12 minutes or the 15 minutes, you can see so long as it stays below the 26 moving average, we are in a downward trend. And the minute it crosses over and we start moving up, we'll be in an upward trend. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Looking for a level. Signals are here. Okay. All the oscillators are signaling a turn, and all we're missing is a level and then a trigger. And trigger is price action. Last thing to look at is going to be the Bollinger quickly. Okay, nothing really to write home on the Bollinger on the hour, apart from the fact that we moved away from the Bollinger here and we're starting to roll over. I just want to check the 4 hour. 4 hour is pretty much in a very strong downtrend at the moment. Nothing here. Okay, so I think for me, we're going to wait for a level to be tagged. We're looking for a level, and the levels that I'll be looking for, I'll give them to you now. That one there, and we also want that one there. Okay, so there's an inside tail. Some other tails interact with it. Here are two inside tails, and there is an inside tail as well. Okay, so I'm looking for one of these levels between 11,264 and 11,217. I'm looking for a positive price action on the half hour or the hour in between those levels. Okay, I don't have a diagonal here that I can utilize. Nope. Might have this one here. We'll just have to zoom out. Oh, that one's gone. Yeah, that one's very much gone. No, okay. So that's pretty much it. And I think what you want to do as well is just, I'm going to move this line down, pay attention to this 200 weekly moving average this week. And in fact, make it like a red. Okay. So you know that the 200 moving average is here, and you can see how it lines up with the inside tail here as well as inside tails here. Okay, so that is a fairly significant level, so expect a lot of volatility in this area. And the big question is whether this move is going to happen. I somehow doubt it if I'm just looking at the oscillator. So I would expect it to pick up something off here, or worst case scenario is to look for a double bottom here. A daily double bottom would be telling. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's my view on this today. If you are short, there's no real reason to get out just yet. But yeah, I got it wrong yesterday. So I was looking for my longs up here. It didn't really materialize. Not that I got into the trade, but I'm still looking for a setup. Okay, and at this stage, there's no setup for me. Okay, guys. That's it for me at the moment, and hope it helps. I'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.